Besançon. However, it was during the 18th and 19th centuries that the tarot's esoteric dimensions began to unfurl, as occultists and mystics delved into its symbolic depths. Throughout the centuries that passed since, the tarot's archetypal imagery resonated with the collective unconscious, revealing a profound language that spoke to the very essence of human experience. As we were tracing the tarot's origins across history, we couldn't help but notice the resonance of its symbolic imagery with various occult and esoteric philosophies. In the Renaissance era, as Western occult philosophies took root, the tarot emerged as a prominent map of exploration into the nature of reality and human consciousness. Figures like Marsilio Ficino, head of the Platonic Academy of Florence, embraced the symbolic keys embedded in the tarot's major arcana as gateways into the mysteries of existence. Also worth mentioning here is that, parallel to this, Christophe Ponce discovered Platonic philosophy embedded in the imagery and construction of the Tarot de Marseille, a revelation that propelled him into a profound investigation, unearthing connections between the Florentine aristocracy, the Medici family, Marsilio Ficino, Botticelli, and the heretical philosophical underpinnings of the Italian Renaissance. Ponce's investigation is masterfully presented in his book, Two Esoteric Tarots. In Two Esoteric Tarots, Christophe Ponce and co-author Peter Mark Adams shed light on their journeys of discovery into two wildly contrasting tarot decks, the dark ritual landscape of the elite Solabusca Tarocchi and the luminous and popular Tarot de Marseille. However, it was groups like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn in 19th century Britain that firmly codified and expanded the tarot's occult associations. The foundational documents of the original Order of the Golden Dawn, known as the cipher manuscripts, are written in English using the Trithemius cipher. The manuscripts give the specific outlines of the grade rituals of the order and prescribe a curriculum of graduated teachings that encompass the Hermetic Kabbalah, astrology, occult tarot, geomancy, and alchemy. Under the guidance of adepts like S.L. MacGregor Mathers and A.E. Waite, the tarot's imagery became a lexicon for exploring the hidden architecture of the universe and the uninitiated self. Each card's symbols, numbers, astrological ties, and geometric forms connect into an intricate tapestry, mapping the journey from limited ego consciousness to the illumination of one's true divine nature. The tarot acted as an illustrated cipher with the ability to awaken intuitive faculties and unlock latent psychic potential in Golden Dawn initiates. Immersion in its symbolic system was seen as a potent means of expanding awareness and achieving union with the higher self. Thus, in the occult revival of the 19th century, the tarot emerged as far more than a parlor trick for fortune-telling. It became a symbolic map for illuminating consciousness itself, a vision of reality's hidden structure and the path to spiritual transcendence. This powerful esoteric legacy ensured the tarot's symbols would reverberate through the modern occult traditions that followed. Of all the esoteric orders that embraced and expanded the symbolic system of the tarot, none had a more profound impact than the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Founded in 1888 by Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mathers and others, this British occult group meticulously mapped the tarot's imagery onto an intricate Kabbalistic framework. Though the tarot's esoteric roots can be traced back to Renaissance occultists like Eliphas Levi, it was the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn that catalyzed the deck's symbolic integration into the Western magical revival of the late 19th century. The Golden Dawn looked to the cipher manuscripts of Kenneth Mackenzie for a new, comprehensive order synthesizing ceremonial magic, Kabbalah, astrology, and other arcane traditions. Central to this vision was establishing a revised symbolic framework for the tarot itself. Drawing from Levi's earlier work, mapping the tarot trumps to the Hebrew alphabet and the Kabbalistic tree of life, the Golden Dawn meticulously codified and expanded these correspondences. The 22 major arcana cards were definitively assigned to the 22 Hebrew letters, pathways on the tree, astrological associations, angelic names, and other intricate occult references. The illustrative tarot images themselves took on profound significance as visual keys embodying these multi-layered esoteric attributions. The Fool exemplified the divine spark of Ein Sof, while the Magician represented the elemental forces tied to Aleph, the first Hebrew letter. This complex symbolic framework allowed Golden Dawn initiates to engage in immersive practices like ceremonial rituals, pathworking, and meditations interwoven with tarot imagery and correspondences. The suited cards' numerological values and the court cards imbued additional layers of occult meaning overlaid on the tarot's archetypal narratives. A. E. Waite, the creator of the world's most influential tarot deck, was a spiritual seeker and mystic who supported himself with freelance translation and writing. In 1889, under the pseudonym Grand Orient, he published A Handbook of Cartomancy, Fortune-Telling, and Occult Divination, one of the first books in English on how to read tarot. His fascination with the occult scene drew him into membership in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, but his spirituality gradually evolved away from ceremonial magic and toward Christian mysticism. When the Golden Dawn splintered into factions, he created his own order, the Fellowship of the Rosy Cross. In 1909, he created the Rider-Waite Tarot in collaboration with Pamela Colman Smith, and wrote the accompanying book, The Pictorial Key to Tarot, PKT. Pamela Colman Smith was an influential figure on the London artistic scene who, from 1890 to 1910, collaborated with W.B. Yeats and his brother on various literary projects. Pamela Smith was known for going into a trance and channeling drawings while listening to music, many years before the Surrealists experimented with automatism in art. In 1909, Waite paid Smith a flat fee for illustrating his tarot deck. He chose her for the job because of her talent, their common membership in the Golden Dawn, and because he believed her clairvoyant abilities would help her perceive the higher mystical truths he was attempting to convey with his deck. Smith did research in the British Museum, lifting some images directly from the 15th century Solabusca deck in the museum's collection, notably the 3 of Swords and 10 of Wands. The deck contains many echoes of Smith's illustration style, which shows she had a good deal of autonomy in creating the minor arcana images. Although both Waite and Smith had been members of the Golden Dawn, they did not create a Golden Dawn deck. Waite based his major arcana imagery on Eliphas Levi's and Paul Christian's Egyptianized descriptions of the trumps, as well as Christian symbolism and Golden Dawn astrological attributions. The minor arcana images illustrate a hodgepodge of influences from Etela, the Golden Dawn's book, the 15th century Solabusca deck in the British Museum, and Smith's own imagination. Though a relatively short-lived society, the Golden Dawn established an enduring model integrating the tarot as a prime initiatory tool within the Western magical revival's ideological framework. Their hierarchical systemization of occult correspondences became widely adopted, solidifying the deck's status as a symbolic map for expanding consciousness and facilitating the soul's journey toward illumination. While the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn cemented the tarot's place in Western occult philosophy, it was the seminal work of psychologist Carl Jung that revealed the deck's symbolic archetypes as powerful keys for mapping the collective unconscious. Jung's explorations into symbols, myths, and dreams across cultures led him to postulate the existence of innate, universal patterns embedded within the human psyche, the archetypes. He believed these primordial images and narratives resided in the collective unconscious, shaping our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. It did not take long for Jung and his followers to recognize startling parallels between his theory of archetypes and the major trump cards of the tarot. Each card's imagery seemed to embody a specific archetype, playing out its symbolic drama. The Fool, for example, represents the archetype of the divine child, a state of pure potential, innocence, and free spirit unbound by construct. The Emperor mirrors the wise old man archetype's patriarchal wisdom and establishment of order amidst chaos. Similarly, the High Priestess aligns with the goddess or anima figure, an intuitive, mysterious feminine principle balancing the rational masculine. The Hierophant ritualistic conscious alignment reflects the Logos archetype that structures sacred traditions. The journey of the Fool through the major arcana stages mirrors the process of individuation, the integration of unconscious elements into consciousness to achieve psychic wholeness. Transitional cards like Death and the Hanged Man represent the archetypal cycles of destruction and renewal necessary for growth.
Nobody gives a shit about this
Jung himself engaged deeply with tarot symbolism, recognizing its profound utility as an introspective mirror into the structures of the unconscious psyche. In his studies on personal and cultural amplification of archetypes, he used tarot imagery as symbolic exemplars. Take the Magician card. Its symbolism aligns with the trickster archetype.
No, I'm trying to educate myself instead of coming on here. Listen, trolling Muslims is fun. That's one thing to do. That's just one thing to do.
I knew I could get you.
What are you doing? You headed to the oil field?
Yep. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to go control the world of the secret cabal of Jews that orchestrate everything.
Don't you find it ironic that you're actually participating in the dollar petro exchange? Like,
no, I find it amazing that I'm part of the stereotypical trope about Jews running the world and orchestrating everything with oil, and they work in the petroleum.
It's you. You're the one doing it all.
Exactly. I'm the one orchestrating it all. I'm the fucking mathematician here, just orchestrating all this shit.
Do you know Ishmael? Ishmael, do you know the black hole?
The black hole.
Ishmael and I are working together. Ishmael and I have started an ecotourism business in Chicago, which is going gangbusters.
Chicago. When are you next on stage?
You should. Where do you live? South Dakota?
Texas.
Texas. Oh, you should start a Rewild Texas with Ishmael and I and become an eco tour operator on the weekends.
That sounds very not interesting.
That's exactly why you should do it, because it's not interesting. Thus, it's an experience.
If it's not interesting and it's obscure, then it's eccentric, and it makes you unique and your personality, and makes you a true virtuous warrior of the new global elite. I just strung a bunch of words together there. I was just trying.
So, anyways, yeah. I mean, if you want to, if you want to talk about it, text me, and I'll send you $1,
All right.
and then then send me the $1 back. And
Keep brainwashing the masses.
well,
Secret
yeah,
CIA operative.
that's what I encourage you to do. I mean, I don't know why anybody would risk their lives in a carcinogenic, pit mine versus working in an office and selling piping to all your coworkers.
That would be so much more exciting than what I actually do.
I told you I used to date this super hot bitch in San Diego whose father was an executive at an oil piping corporation, and they sold, $1 billion worth of oil pipes every year, and they were rich as fuck.
Why does she have to be a bitch?
Ugh, she was so hot. You have no idea. She makes your Vietnamese fiance look like
Filipinos.
your Filipino fiance look like Genghis Khan chicken.
I don't know, but Filipino wife's pretty hot.
But the point is, how can you enjoy life when you're working all the time?
I know, it's a trade-off. The sad thing is I know ways to make money. Just don't put forth the effort to do it.
Why don't you just do what everyone else is doing and just create a YouTube about your experience in the oil fields, and then eventually that YouTube account will have 40,000, 60,000, 200,000 subscribers. You'll make enough money from YouTube, Google to quit the oil field and go, do international travel with your fiance, and then create more YouTube videos.
That's honestly what I thought about, and I honestly, genuinely, truly believe that all of this is a construct of my subconscious mind, and that I'm in a comatose state, and you're a figment of my imagination and part of my personality speaking to me. This constructed reality.
That's actually genius, because that could possibly be what's happening.
Yes, like none of this is fucking real, and you're just part of my you're the crazy version of my mind. That's on here, just like the free-spirited freaking hippie running his psyop, on the Clubhouse and shit. You're just like part of my personality.
Well, it's see, from my perspective, it's you that's secretly doing all of this through me.
That's what I'm saying. But isn't it kind of crazy when you do think about the simulation hypothesis? Like, everybody that's involved, everybody that's in my life, and including all the different cult of personalities on Clubhouse and shit, are all parts of my personality. And it's all this is like a theatrical play, or like a book. And my mind is constructing all these characters. I'm gonna have this zany dude that went into the Air Force Academy and then worked for the CIA, and they got blown up and is now a little kooky and shit, and runs all these weird metaphysical rooms on Clubhouse and shit. But in reality, it's just my zany part of my personality.
Well, the secret is knowing where you came from, and then you can solve all your problems. So until you really realize who you are,
I would say that to myself.
Yeah. Until you realize who you really are, you'll keep living in a state of constant dread, fear, anxiety, depression. Because look at Christopher Columbus and the people who came to the New World, that literally got on a boat and they were like, all right, we're going to go this way. We don't know how far it is, and we don't know if we'll ever come back, but this is where we're going to go. So once they got there, they were like, oh my God, where are we? You kind of knew where you were, and then you started, trying to engage with the Native Americans, but then you realize pretty quickly that they're not the nicest people in the world, and it's better to do limited trades with them.
How dare you?
Maintain your.
How dare you say about the sweet indigenous people who are free-spirited, loving hipsters? Yeah, right.
What I'm trying to say is, is that they certainly did not know where they came from. But the Europeans from the 1500s and 1600s had a greater idea of where they came from, meaning that their self-actualization was light years ahead of the Neolithic tribalists, of North America. Anyways, I'm just trying to concoct an
I
analogy
love.
off the fly.
You know what I love about you, John, is that our like friendship is that I have the ability, and one of the few people on this app or that you probably associate with, that has the ability to make John go from like crazy zany raboy noi to like having like a civilized, genuine, realistic, eccentric conversation. Like I love that because everybody else is like, John's just fucking crazy, and I'm like, no, watch, I'll pull it out of him.
I'm not. I only troll. I go on troll mode when I hear really low value content. There's no reason to waste my life listening to other people's low value sentiments, opinions, and thoughts. So I just troll it. There's no reason to waste my life. So whatever I come across that doesn't fit my narrative, I put it in a blender and then I hand it back to those people. I say, farewell,
I love it.
goodbye. I don't even want to drink it. Take care.
I love it. But everybody's like, yeah, he's crazy. He doesn't ever make any sense. And I'm like, no, you just have to know John, and you have to know how to pull out the normalcy of him.
Yeah, you should talk to the psychiatrists that I deal with. They feel the same way.
And if this is a constructed part of your subconscious mind, and you're in a comatose state or something, then I would be your psychotherapist.
I told this Indian psychiatrist once, I was like, yeah, I was flying through the airport and I thought I was a god. And he goes, oh my god, sir, this sounds just like you have bipolar disorder.
No, it sounds like you were trolling him.
People, pre online trolling, a lot of people had absolutely no idea what trolling is or was, or that gaslighting is a thing, and that people intentionally lie and deceive you and fuck with you. I mean, the internet has revealed the inner workings and the inner chicanery and rascalism of human beings. Like, we've been trolling each other since the very beginning, and we never knew it.
Have you ever watched the videos about 4chan? They review all the worst, not the worst, but the greatest and most epic engagements on 4chan. And they had one. Check this out, right? So Taylor Swift, her company, her like marketers or whatever, they put together a contest, and they told all the Taylor Swift fans and people around the world. They said, listen, if you vote on your school, like your middle school, elementary, high school, whatever, and it gets the most amount of votes, Taylor Swift will come and sing at into an entire concert at your school. So 4chan, as much as they hate Taylor Swift, got on there with their masses and their fake accounts and all that kind of shit, and they voted for some deaf and blind school in Massachusetts. And she backed out of the agreement, and she's like, I'm not going to go play at a deaf and blind school.
Wow.
And they did the same thing to Pitbull. Pitbull had an agreement where if they had the most votes for a Walmart, and it was the most, they looked up on 4chan or 8chan, they looked up the smallest population Walmart in the country, and they found out it was in some small, obscure little indigenous village in Alaska, and they all voted for it. It had like 4 million votes, and then like your local Walmart there in Chicago had like 1,000. And people actually got on the friggin' plane. We went to this
No. Well, in Washington D.C., but it's not CIA. Anyways, the point is, is that there is no point, and my employer doesn't know that I create nothing cheeseburgers, and I've been hypnotizing all my coworkers for 5 years, and they finally are like kind of pulling it all together, saying, "Fuck, he never really did anything in 5 years. He just hypnotized us. He communicated with us, but he never really did anything."
Do you have any kids, John, or no?
Maybe somewhere out there, I've planted lots of seeds.
Yeah, I got three. They're the same on it.
You really have 3 kids? I guess that's the explanation.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old, 3.5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old. I got a girl and 2 boys.
With the Filipino or with a first wife?
Yeah, Filipino. No first wife. I didn't get married till I was 32, 33. Yeah, I didn't get married. I got married in 2017.
Well,
I've been with my wife since 2013.
only thing I could offer you, Black Hole, is I could just very quickly analyze you and say you're missing something, and
Oh, I agree.
what you're really missing is just more psychology. I hate to tell you, that's all you're really missing, because throughout my whole life, it's just a giant exploration of information gathering. And at this point in my life, at 41, I have
Oh shit, you're only 2 years older than me.
I've accumulated
I'm 85.
I've accumulated enough knowledge to know that if you want to modify your environment, you have to modify your psychology. There's no other way to do it. Meaning that,
Oh, I agree.
yeah, if you can change your perspective about who you are, you can literally be the John McCain of the military-industrial complex. You can be the Donald.
You have to go to that.
You can be the Donald Rumsfeld of treason. I mean, nothing can stop us. We can.
He makes so much sense, but then he puts his little snide jabs there in the midst of it.
Anyways, I'm just telling you, stay in touch, because whether you make it or I make it, I'm gonna need loyalists.
Followers.
Yeah, I'm gonna need loyal followers who know me enough to where they can take a gamble and risk it all, by supporting me in our future insurrection efforts.
You ever think that maybe you're like the Marvel character Legion? All these ideals of different planes of existence and all that kind of shit is actually because of your abilities as a mutant. You ever seen Legion? Marvel Comics?
No.
Oh, so he's in an insane asylum, and he thinks he's batshit crazy because he keeps seeing these people are talking to him and shit. And in actuality, he's like a god-like character in the Marvel MCU, Marvel Universe. And he believes that he's like schizophrenic. He thinks he has like delusional paranoid schizophrenia. And he's been locked up since he was like a teenager. And in actuality, the gist of it is that he's a super godlike, powerful mutant who has the ability to communicate and traverse and create alternate universes within his own universe. So he can pull another parallel universe into this universe. Like once he figures out his potential, like he can traverse and travel through interdimensional space, like into an alternate reality. And but so the people that he's seeing, like this little old lady that's sitting there talking to him for like an hour, and then the lady that works at the psych ward, it's like, who are you talking to? And he's like, I was talking to Miss Mildred here. She works here at the hospital. And I was like, there's no Miss Mildred here. We're watching you on camera, and you're talking to yourself for an hour. In actuality, Mildred is a person that, because he's mentally unstable and can't control his powers, he's pulling another person from an alternate universe into his universe.
Okay, you've already said too much. Stop projecting.
It's awesome, dude.
I'm sick of it.
Can you imagine how cool that would fucking be?
Bro,
I'm saying like that.
Bro, everything... You're going to have to listen to the playback on this, because everything you just told me is everything you just said prior to telling me that. Meaning that I am, a figment of your imagination, your subconscious mind telling you to stop being such a loser.
I have a wild imagination.
So, okay, so this is my point. What is your name again?
Rich.
Rich. Okay. We have each other's number, right? I mean, I think I have you saved in my phone as a clown.
Of course.
Okay, so, Rich, what I'm trying to tell you is that neurolinguistic programming is real. It's the Hegelian dialect. Force it. You can't fail because everyone operates on it, including yourself. So, if you want to modify self, you have to change the recording you're listening to and change your dance as a result. So, without further ado, Rich, I want to end you in terms of your schizophrenia, because mental health is real. Mental health is real, and your psychology can be modified. And I hope that you'll stay with me here as I continue this exploration. But I'm going to quickly give you the most powerful.
I'm in the psych ward dealing with the psychos.
So I was in the psych ward twice. Okay.
I was too.
No, maybe 3 times. Anyways, maybe 4 times. Anyways, my point is, there was this kid I was with, not a kid, a young man, and he was my roommate, and he was like, I don't know why the doctors won't let me out. And he goes, they keep saying I'm staring at the sun and burning my retinas out. I said, bro, you're staring at the sun. What are you doing? He goes, I said, bro, stop staring into the sun. You're going to burn your eyes. He's like, I can't. I was like, "What did you do in the army?" He goes, "I was a 50 cal machine gunner on the back of a Hummer." Oh man, this poor guy. Anyways, I don't know what happened to him. I think he was homeless. Anyhow, so I want to give you the most powerful NLP. Do you know what the most powerful NLP ever created is?
No, tell me.
It's Skeletor from Masters of the Universe. That is the most powerful NLP you can possibly psychologically condition yourself on. Because what Skeletor does is, it's kind of ironic, because Skeletor becomes a god, and he's like, what does your filthy little lives mean anything at all? I have the power of the universe in me. I am a god! But yet he's still a little bitch. He's still trying to make He-Man kneel. Instead of like freeing He-Man and being like, okay, I'm a god now, I don't need to worry about you, he still wants to fuck around and find out. So, so just listen to what I'm talking about, and you'll understand that once you realize where you come from, and you know who you are, you're basically gonna drop out. Like, you're gonna realize that working in an oil field is a trick, that you have been tricked into doing what you're doing. And that you're only doing it because you have fear about providing for your loved ones. And it's a valid fear. But if you really knew who you were, you would have no fear whatsoever about providing for your family.
Dear God, it makes sense.
So let me play for you the psychological conditioning that your subconscious mind is demanding that you listen to. And again, this actually deals with Gnosticism, which is unity with God. And what he does is he uses technology and the eye of Grayskull to become God. So listen to this. I'm going to play for you the Gnostic Mass of Skeletor. And this is the true secret psychological conditioning you're looking for to free yourself from a lifetime of slavery in an oil field. Here we go. But first, a message from TikTok and your future Chinese overlords.
People of Eternia, I stand before the great eye of the galaxy, chosen by destiny to receive the powers of Grayskull. This inevitable moment will transpire before your eyes, even as He-Man himself bears witness to it.
So one thing I want to point out about Skeletor is he practices politics. And he practices public speaking, aka mass communication hypnosis. And he's technically Hermes Thoth Trismegistus, which is the Egyptian ancient information technology of communication. Here we go. So he says, I am master of the universe. Then this giant portal, this technology portal, is opening up in Castle Grayskull. He's standing before two twin pillars, which is essentially Kabbalistic. It's got all the sigils on it, and it's embedded technology. And then there's also the sword of Excalibur plugged into the whole thing. So part of the whole alchemical formula is taking He-Man's Excalibur, plugging it into this basically black hole technology that Skeletor is going to use to divinely illuminate himself with, magic powers, even though his powers aren't that great after he gets it all, which is the irony of it. So now there are these light energy balls flying all around him. He's glowing, he's turning orange. But he's also rather theatrical. He's doing a whole performance for all of his soldiers and for He-Man and for all of Eternia. Because again, he's being holoscoped throughout the planet. Everybody is watching this transformation on the whole planet. So he tricks everybody. He could have won. He controlled the whole planet. My point is, Skeletor's attitude sucks. He has it all, and he's still not happy, and he's still a bitch. And he has the power of God, but he can't even transform his ugly skeleton ass into a good-looking person again. Also, I'll point out that his staff, or his giant wand, is the staff of Baphomet. I mean, it's clearly a Baphomet sigil on Skeletor's staff. What consequence are you all, this planet, these people? It's hilarious, and they're all like, oh no, Skeletor's won! It's kind of funny because, like, his number two, Evelina, she's looking at him. You gotta watch this scene in this movie. It's so funny to ponder because, like, I really want to write a book about Skeletor and the significance of this 1987 movie and what is really happening here, because America in Hollywood is all into the occult. So this was like the perfect embodiment of art and theatrical performance and filmmaking and concepts put into a film, into the stage. This is a theater production. So finally, he has the power, and he's looking at He-Man. He's like, kneel before your master. And I've met Dolph Lundgren. I used to live in LA, and Dolph Lundgren used to go to the sports club, or he used to go to Equinox in Beverly Hills. He's like 4'11". So he says, I am God. He doesn't say a God. He says, I am God.
The man is a Scandinavian god with a 170 IQ.
It's so funny because Evelina is like looking on this like she's gonna puke because she hates Skeletor. So it's so awesome. He becomes God, and yet he still runs things as if he's not God. So he's got all that power, and he's still screaming, kneel, kneel, kneel. See, that's the thing is, it's not real power when you become a god and you start screaming at everybody to do what you got to do. Could you imagine all the wasted energy and all the emotional, overlay that you have to emit to get people to do when you become God. So it's just such a funny thing. It's a beautiful analysis. What do you think, Rich?
I agree in every form, shape of what you're alluding to.
Okay, so let me continue the psychological reconditioning of you, Rich, through Skeletor. And I hope that this Skeletor, because this is more valuable than probably your entire time you've ever spent on Clown House, wasting your time making fun of Muslims, etc., to your own detriment because you didn't actually read a good book and get yourself out of the oil field. But your super subconscious mind is here to help you. That's me. So I'm going to psychologically recondition you to get you out of the oil field through Skeletor and the power of the Gnostic Mass.
Do you know how bad I am that I would do that?
This is it. I'm not making...
That I would use fucking Skeletor to fucking open my eyes inside of my subconscious mind.
Just trust in Skeletor. Because what's underneath all your skin and all your flesh?
Skeleton.
It's you. Exactly.
Oh my god.
It's kind of interesting, but Skeletor was actually much cooler and more of a badass before he became God. He's so military, and he says, report, Evelyn, and then he follows it up with, speak! He doesn't even wait. He's just like, bitch, get it out.
Seal the gates to the city. The castle is secure, and we are closing in on the Thenorian as we speak.
Yes, Atima.
He continues to lead the resistance. I assure you, we will have him before the day is out.
She's so fucking arrogant and such a stupid bitch. And so this goes back to everything that you say is a lie. Meaning that if your lips are moving, you're fucking lying. And Skeletor knows it. Skeletor is also gullible and rather immature and childish. And I'll give you some examples of that.
After all this time, Grayskull is ours. The power of Grayskull has not yet come.
It's kind of interesting because there's a love-hate relationship going on between Skeletor and Evelyn. Hi, Doc. And so the whole thing is Evelyn... Doc, I don't know if you want to come up. Let's see if I can invite you. We're doing a Skeletor reconditioning of
As
Richard.
long as Doc is sober.
Oh, really? You think so? He might be. He might have run out of whiskey.
I don't drink liquor.
What the fuck? You told me... Yeah, there you go.
Drinks beer. No, he drinks beer all
No,
night.
I drank a bottle of, half a bottle of Tito's vodka somebody brought to me.
Uh-huh.
And
He usually drinks beer.
And I got sick as fuck. And that would have been like probably 6 years now, since 2020.
Yeah,
But I was like, not
Doc
drinking
just
liquor.
drinks beer. He drinks like 20 beers at a time.
I know. Rich, can you explain to Doc what we're doing here? We don't have much time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but not Skeletor. He's analyzing and equating me to Skeletor because I was talking about how wild would the simulation hypothesis be that if all this is a construct of my mind, my subconscious mind, because I'm in a comatose state. Like, say I had a car accident 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and I'm in a comatose state, and all of you guys are just a construct of my subconscious mind, and John would be, you would be the drunk version of me. John would be like the crazy, zany, free-spirited version of me. And all these people are like cultic personalities of my own personality.
Yeah, as a person that spent 2 weeks in a coma on a ketamine trip, I had like these massive, huge like dreams that were real. And like my mom was around, she would come visit me in the hospital. My sisters, my brother would show up, and like all the family was there. And when I finally got taken out of the coma, I found out none of them were ever there.
See, I wanted to write a book about this, and then I came to the realization that it's already been done 1,000 times, like Inception. And the ideal for the book was, Gabe, I pray, and see the zaniness. But so know that say I'm driving along, I get in a car accident, I'm in a comatose state, and it's only been 6 months or a year. But to me, it's been the entirety of the span of my life. And I have a wife, and now I have 3 kids, and all this kind of shit. And then I wake up from the comatose state because I start recognizing that things are a little off, and the sky, for some reason, looks fucking rainbow-colored or, swirling or some shit like that. Then I hear voices saying, Richard, wake up, Richard, wake up. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going fucking crazy. And then I actually wake up, and I find out that I'm 20 years in the past, and I never met my wife. I never had any kids. And then I'm still a single 20-year-old guy who just had an accident.
Happy Pride.
State for like a year.
And then that's literally
Happy Pride.
The Next Generation's one of the episodes.
But here's the idea.
Happy Pride.
And maybe that construct of even this story itself was because of a Star Trek episode
Happy
that I've
Pride.
seen when I was a kid. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
That now I have to go.
Okay,
into
we get it. Make your
the
point.
actual
Make your
real
point.
universe.
Make your point. Make your points. Happy Pride.
Center of attention, and then I go off into the real world, and I actually have to find my wife again.
Yeah, well, I get the concept.
All right, Happy Pride. Doc, make your final
Honestly,
point.
Write it. You should write it.
No, don't write it. Just come on Clown House and talk about it. That's good enough. All right, are you guys finished? Because we're going to finish this Skeletor psychological reconditioning of Rich. We're going to get Rich out of the oil fields.
We're done.
All right, here we go.
Someone is speaking to me. Source. My lovely prisoner. My prisoner at last.
So something to point out that he has telekinesis, where they can communicate non-verbally through thoughts, through the ether.
Actually, he doesn't have it. She has it.
Oh, she has
The
it.
priestess. And yeah, she has it through with Castle Grayskull.
Jesus Christ, Doc! This fucking guy. This guy knows everything.
Just a wealth of drunken.
I'm not going to war unless Doc is at my right-hand side, because when we have to build catapults and shit, I know who to look to.
Oh, I could build a trebuchet.
The darkness is rising to embrace you.
The dark can embrace the light, but never eclipse it. You've not won yet, Skeletor. He-Man is still alive.
Something important to point out, she says the darkness can never eclipse the light, which is a wonderful philosophical treatise. But then listen to what Skeletor says. He's so fucking hilarious. He's such a fucking bitch. He's like, "Ooh, thank you for that little bit of philosophy."
Imagine if we all moved in together, we could take over the world.
Move it, genius. You're on Clown House. We don't need to move in together, okay? Jesus Christ. Somebody put the gay flag up. Put the fucking gay flag up. The fuck is this shit? Where's that fucking flag? Where's that fucking flag? Here we go. All right.
And then when I
Just
say these type of things,
listen,
your followers
Rich,
on
be
Instagram are
still.
gonna show for your house,
Rich,
John.
be still. Be still. Be still. Be silent.
Really? How sensitive you are. Can you feel this?
So this goes back to Skeletor's original magic powers, where he's able to draw your essence or your aura or your spirit from your body in the same way that all these other movies do, where they can suck your soul out of you. So Skeletor is already a very powerful, essentially demigod. Bitch gets old and nasty, and then Evelyn is like finally happy and pleased. It's like, otherwise she hates Skeletor, but when Skeletor does evil, she loves it.
Evenly, activate the holosphere. People of Eternia, the war is over. My forces are victorious. The sorceress of Grayskull is my prisoner, and her powers are now joined with mine.
Let me just say, like, if Skeletor actually came to town, this would be like the Mashiach, meaning that everyone would be like, holy fucking shit, this is a motherfucking G. Like, Skeletor is not fucking around. This motherfucker is a god.
Be my first decree. Those who do not pledge
But again, it's not really like a god, because it's not it's not. How do I describe this? Skeletor is essentially the god that everybody's like, oh fuck, could this guy just already die? Like it's like working for, the man basically. And never ending analysis of Skeletor, because it's like having sour grapes, meaning that Skeletor had it all and he fucked it up.
Well, I mean, but you gotta realize that he had to go against He-Man, and He-Man was like the biggest, baddest Jew on the block. Like, more like
Yeah, but He-Man's the representation of Christ.
Can I finish my sentence before you interrupt me? Thank you. All right. But Masters of the Universe in Boyce Loinloin, and so it's the dichotomy of the good versus evil. They even had a guy named Man at Arms. Like, he was the leader of the IDF.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this goes back to my point that all this is an occult Kabbalistic metaphor. So here, let's continue the reconditioning.
The new age begins.
So the new age refers to the new eon of Horus. And, I watched the documentary of this movie, and basically everybody they kill is a faceless person. In the movie, to get around the ratings reviews in Hollywood, as long as they didn't show the face of a person getting killed, and instead, so basically the soldiers in this movie are just like soldiers in Star Wars. They're just clone soldiers. And then the other thing is
rating or something.
Yeah, for the ratings. And then the other thing is Skeletor kills only one person, and that's a frogman who is a mercenary. And again, they had to choose somebody who was not a human to kill.
Everything comes to he who waits.
Is this the movie with Dolph Lundgren or the remake?
Dolph, yeah.
And I have waited so very long for this moment.
So the whole thing does go back to everything comes to he who waits, meaning if you want something, you have to be patient, but it doesn't mean actually trying to get it. Just let it come to you. It's the same principle with pussy. Otherwise, you'll just burn yourself out. It's like Rich going to an oil field. He is the oil that he's drilling. He doesn't know that yet, and that's why we're psychologically reconditioning him to get at his bones, to make him a fearless demigod warrior.
Let her go.
Basically a Hegelian NLP super soldier like Doctor here. And Doctor is one of my best trained enlightened rockets, ready for launch.
I don't think so. No.
I can even land back.
While she remains imprisoned within this field.
Doctor is his own worst enemy, but I have given him more than I've given anyone else on this app, because he came to this app through Instagram and watching the wise words of Marcus Aurelius while I was playing my space drum, suntanning in my underpants, doing yoga, thinking of Jazzy's sweet dreams.
Her powers increase my own, and when the moon reaches its zenith, the great eye will open.
Again, deals with the moon reaching its zenith. The words that they use to choose, there's no repetitions in this whole thing. It's genius.
And all the powers of Grayskull will be bestowed upon me. Your wondrous sorceress will die. You dare threaten her life?
It's so fucking Shakespearean, isn't it? Sergeant at Arms is such a little bitch.
He dare anything. I am Skeletor.
I love his reasoning. I dare anything. I'm fucking Skeletor. He's a fucking living skeleton. I mean, would you not do anything that you wanted to do if you were not the ugliest fucking skeleton in the world?
Soul suck your fucking your whole existence out of your body, and I get to live longer. Sure.
So he's a black magician or a black pope.
Black hole.
Yeah, like you, Rich. This is why we're trying to suck you back out of your own black hole.
Throw down your weapons and pledge yourself to me, or you will join her.
It's not her you want. It's me. It's always been between us.
And it said that Dolph Lundgren's accent was so bad that the producers and director did not want him in this movie, but he and the amount of words that he has is very low and minimal, and even that he could barely do because his accent is so thick wherever the fuck he's from.
Yeah, but he was coming off of Rocky IV popularity.
It's the locksmith.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You realize he has like a 170 IQ, right?
The cosmic key has been activated. We have a bearing on them.
How accurate.
Within a parsec eon.
The next time they use the key, lock in the source and open a doorway.
Shall I prepare a full battalion?
No, it may be a trap. We'll send an advance group. Assemble the mercenaries. Have faith.
So this is basically Hitler's moment where Skeletor fucks up, and he hires these incompetent mercenaries to do his dirty work.
Mercenaries. You won't be lonely long.
The cosmic key has been activated.
Oh yeah.
We have a bearing on them.
Well,
How accurate.
Within a parsec eon.
Trap. Easily pleased, Eagleling. Have you forgotten? Time is the essence. Show me! There. That's closer. Have you assembled the mercenaries?
Here and awaiting your command. I have selected your finest warriors. Blade. Sarad.
So Sarad's the one that gets killed.
The Beast Man. And Karg.
A curious quartet. He-Man has slipped away from me. I want him
So
back.
this
This must happen.
this curious quartet is essentially the secret name of God. Everything is four, and so these are basically his. What were those creatures outside the Garden of Eden that protected it?
the cherubs.
The cherubim. These are God's cherubim flying out to kill He-Man on behalf of God, but they fail. And Karg is technically a Jewish mercenary, and he's a very disgusting, ugly person. That's why he's considered the Jewish mercenary. The Beast Man is considered an African American. Karg, the creature that gets killed, is considered like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Moonrise.
Doesn't matter. What we're trying to do here is psychologically recondition Rich to be fearless so he can quit his job in the oil field, take his 4 children, then go build a compound for us in Texas and spend all his money preparing for the Mashiach.
Now, you are to go through to this world where they are hiding. Find the key. Do as you wish with the others, but bring He-Man back alive. You do understand?
And why does he want to bring He-Man back alive? Because Skeletor is actually a
It's
faggot.
the resurrection.
Oh, that's
He knows that
true.
Jesus is God.
That's true. I think Skeletor wants He-Man's power in the sense that he wants his youth and beauty to overlay his skeleton system. But the truth is, Skeletor's a faggot. He wants to fuck He-Man, desecrate him, make him Mike Tyson's little bitch.
Good. Open the door. Do not fail me. Why is this the resistance? The people must know that I am Grayskull. I depend upon you for these things. You know that.
The people.
So he like sexually like massages her, saying, you know, I am Grayskull and I need you to do that, my little bitch. And then she like reverses him with this like little fucking slippery snake song.
Wait for He-Man. They believe that he will return to lead them. For you to rule completely, he must be destroyed.
He-Man. If I kill him, I make him a martyr, a saint. No, I want him broken.
So his 4 mercenaries come walking back
Are we
in.
literally gonna listen to the whole movie?
No, this is just the Skeletor movie.
For how much longer?
1 minute 20 seconds.
Alright.
Where is the key?
We trace the key's signal, but were unable to take possession of it.
Is that all?
We fought with the Eternians, but were outnumbered. We thought it wise to return alive and gather a larger force.
Set He-Man free! You're all aware of the penalty.
So the whole thing deals with anger, where, you know, they don't want to awaken his sleeping anger, just in the same way that I don't want to awaken Doc's sleeping anger. We've got 1 minute left. Here we go.
For failure, give me one more chance, Lord Skeletor, and we will succeed. I am not in the giving vein.
It's like, give me one more chance, Lord Skeletor, and we will succeed. It's like, bitch, why did you come back? Why didn't you just keep fighting until you fucking did what you had to do?
This day, get away!
He begs your forgiveness, as do we all. We live only to serve you.
It would be a pity to waste their talents.
Save your pity for yourself. If you failed, take them and whatever troops and resources you need.
I was not suggesting that I go.
Then you should not have spoken. Leave immediately. When you find the key, send the sourcing signal. An attack force will join you, or I will follow.
So that's how he deals with this shit. You know, he throws Evelina back in. He's like, bitch, shouldn't have opened your fucking mouth. Now you in trouble. Get my shit done. So that's my psychological reconditioning for Rich. He had to go to work in the oil fields. Doctor, good morning. And welcome to Tarot Magic Jungian Archetypes in the Clown Podcast. Re boy noy, shaloy loy.
I think my concept of beauty has changed because in the beginning I was always trying to please other people with my beauty choices. I've spent so much of my life in front of the camera, so I'm always looking for products that help me create a consistent.
What was the question?
You had an album or something where it was an old like rabbi or somebody, you know, singing, and the whole song was just
Part of the sea.
like every variation that you could put
And his spirit
the whole song for like 2 minutes. You played a song for me. I can still remember it, so
I'm not sure. Have you ever seen the movie HMS Bounty?
that sounds like a shit. When was it made, and is it about a ship? HMS Bounty? That's like Her Majesty's
Mr. Fire?
Service Bounty? I really don't want
Last
to.
night,
Your
three
mic
men of
sounds
Mr.
like
Hayward's watch
shit
deserted
on
ship.
this side, dude.
The penalty.
Like, your microphone sounds like complete shit, dude. I've had better, like, you know, hands on a string fucking connections. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yet, you know,
Just turn your volume down a little bit.
I'll just, dude, I can't hear anything. I have to turn it all the way up to be able to understand a damn thing. I can hear you when you
We will
talk.
go
I
about
can't hear whatever the hell your audio
And
source
run
is.
downwind for Africa and the Indian Ocean. Mr. Lamb?
Yes, sir.
As soon as we have put about, it will be safe to light your galley fires again. To Tonight I want as much hot and mush as every man can eat.
Yeah, that's
Say
Anthony
the Captain,
Hopkins.
lads, Civic. Hooray! 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 However, we're still faced with a long, hard voyage. I mean to make good use of every hour of sailing time. And to assist me in this, I'm replacing Mr. Fryer with Mr. Christian, who will now act as executive second in command with the rank of acting second lieutenant. Mr. Fryer, come back here. Mr. Fryer, sir, come back here.
That's definitely Anthony Hopkins.
We'll dismiss when I have done with you, sir. Do you hear me?
This is an outrage.
Mr. Fryer.
In all my years at sea.
Your years at sea? Good Lord, man. If I'd known your nature, I would
All
not
right,
have
man.
accepted you as bosun of a river barge.
I'm not going to sit here and
You
listen
will
to a
suffer my
song about
correction
some
whenever you're
story
at
that I
fault.
already know.
Okay, we're going to Shalala. We're going to Shalala. What do you... Okay. All right, Chris, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun over here. This has been Tarot Magic Jungian Archetypes. Yeah, I'm going to end the room, so I'm going to create something new. I will talk with you soon. Bye. Okay, this is advanced meditation class and lecture.
Old Spice Gentleman Super Hydration Body Wash. Vanilla 24/7 moisture.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome. Thank you for joining again today to practice. My name is Flo. Welcome to the video, welcome to the practice, and perhaps welcome to the channel. For a lot of people it's very difficult